Language is the lifeblood of a people. It carries our history, our stories, and our dreams. The Uruwund language is the soul of the Uruwund community in Central Africa. It whispers of ancient rituals and echoes with the laughter of generations past. To speak Uruwund is to carry the history of the Uruwund people in your mouth. It is a language of poetry, song, and vibrant storytelling, passed down from generation to generation. The Uruwund people have a rich cultural heritage, deeply connected to the land and their ancestors. For centuries, they have thrived in the heart of Africa, their lives a testament to resilience and community spirit. Their language, Uruwund, has been the foundation of their identity, the thread that connects them to their past and lights the way to their future.
Before the arrival of the colonizers, the Uruwund people occupied a vast territory spanning western Katanga, northeastern Angola and Luapula in Zambia, with all its communities connected by shared language and traditions. The elders, revered as living libraries, preserved the history and wisdom of the people through oral tradition. Children learned the history of their ancestors, their customs, and their relationship with nature through captivating stories and songs. Uruwund flowed freely, connecting generations and fostering a strong sense of belonging. Language was not merely a tool for communication, it was the very essence of their cultural identity. The subtle nuances of Uruwund, its proverbs and metaphors, encapsulated the worldview and philosophical foundations of the Uruwund people. However, the arrival of colonialism in Africa disrupted the social fabric of the continent, leaving an indelible mark on its people and their languages. The imposition of foreign languages and the systematic suppression of indigenous languages created a linguistic hierarchy that relegated Uruwund and other African languages to the shadows. The Uruwund people found themselves navigating a world where their language, once a source of pride and unity, was deemed inferior, an obstacle to progress in the eyes of the colonizers.
The colonial powers, driven by their own interests, redrew the maps of Africa without regard for existing cultural and linguistic boundaries. This division had a profound impact on the Uruwund people, fragmenting their territory and scattering their communities across newly established borders. The once interconnected network of Uruwund speakers found itself separated, its ability to communicate and maintain its cultural practices hindered by physical and political barriers. Over generations, the impact of these divisions became increasingly apparent. Dialects diverged, and the once unified language began to fragment. The forced assimilation policies of the colonial regimes further exacerbated this linguistic fragmentation, as children were often punished for speaking their native language in schools and other institutions. Some names of Uruwund origin have undergone alterations both in the way they are pronounced and how they are written. The influence of certain languages chosen as national languages for the rulers has had a detrimental effect on the Uruwund language. The consequences of this linguistic division extended far beyond the realm of language. It eroded cultural transmission, as elders, the keepers of tradition, found it increasingly difficult to pass on their knowledge to younger generations who were growing up disconnected from their linguistic roots. The bonds of shared heritage frayed, and the collective memory of the Uruwund people, once vibrantly preserved through their language, was threatened with fading into oblivion. Musum, a sanctuary of tradition. Despite the challenges posed by colonialism and its enduring legacy, the Uruwund spirit has remained unbroken. At the heart of their fragmented territory lies Musum, the capital of the empire, a city that stands as a symbol of the resilience of Uruwund culture and the enduring power of its language. Musum is a sanctuary for Uruwund traditions, a place where the echoes of its ancestors still resonate strongly. The elders of Musum, with their deep knowledge of Uruwund and its rich oral traditions, play a vital role in preserving the cultural memory of the Uruwund people. They are the living embodiment of their history, the storytellers who keep the past alive. In the bustling squares of Musum, amidst the vibrant colors of traditional crafts and the enticing aromas of local cuisine, Uruwund flows freely. It is the language of commerce, of storytelling, of laughter, and of life. The people of Musum, young and old, understand the importance of preserving their linguistic heritage. They recognize that Uruwund is not just a tool for communication, but a powerful symbol of their identity, a testament to the resilience of their ancestors and a beacon of hope for the future.
He, Muantyav, the emperor of the Uruwund people. Besides the most respected elders of the Uruwund community, Muantyav, their emperor, remains the leading figure in linguistic preservation. A revered figure in the community, not all Muantyav are content with simply speaking Uruwund fluently. They possess an encyclopedic knowledge of its subtleties. The impact of a Muantyav on the language extends beyond grammar and vocabulary. He understands the soul of the language, the nuances that bring it to life.
The Muantyav, as guardians of traditions, dedicate their lives, among other things, to safeguarding Uruwund, meticulously documenting its grammar and lexicon. They are like living dictionaries. Their speeches are often a source of linguistic inspiration for the younger generation. Indeed, the emperor knows that the survival of a language depends on its transmission, on ensuring that it continues to be spoken and cherished by young people.
Through his tireless efforts, Muantyav embodies the spirit of resistance against linguistic assimilation. He understands that to lose one's language is to lose a fundamental part of one's identity, to sever the roots that nourish the soul. His work serves as a powerful reminder that the struggle for cultural preservation is not confined to museums or history books. It is a living struggle that demands the active participation of every generation.
She, when language falters. Despite the valiant efforts of individuals like Muantyav and the cultural haven offered by places like Musumb and the entire Kapanga territory, the Uruwund language faces numerous challenges. The lasting impact of colonial policies, coupled with the growing dominance of languages widely spoken in the major cities of the Democratic Republic of Congo, particularly Swahili, has created an environment where indigenous languages often struggle to survive. One of the most pressing issues facing Uruwund is the introduction of pronunciation and grammatical errors, often stemming from the influence of foreign languages. As younger generations are exposed to other languages through education and media, and faced with cohabitation in cities of the Democratic Republic of Congo, with communities speaking other indigenous languages and abroad with other distant cultures, they sometimes inadvertently incorporate elements of these languages into their spoken and written Uruwund. While language evolution is a natural process, the rapid and often uncontrolled influx of foreign influences can lead to a dilution of the language's original structure and vocabulary. The same is true for the proximity of bordering territories whose populations speak other indigenous languages different from Uruwund. The territory of Kapanga, inhabited 100% by Uruwund-speaking peoples with a single administrative entity, Muantyav, is the largest collectivity in the Democratic Republic of Congo, especially since its extent coincides with that of the vast territory of Kapanga. This collectivity is surrounded to the north by the collectivities of the provinces of Kasai Central and Lomami, the Lueta collectivity, the Loachi collectivity, the Lusanza collectivity, the Bushimae collectivity, the Kanuchina collectivity, the Chisunga collectivity. To the east by the Mutombo Mukulu collectivity in the territory of Kanyama in the province of Haut Lomami, and the Kayembe Mukulu collectivity in the territory of Sandoa. To the south, still in Sandoa territory, the Sakundundu collectivity, the Rumang collectivity, the Muteb collectivity, the Chibam collectivity. Thus, there are 6 communities in the north speaking different dialects of Kasai, a community in the east speaking the Kiluba of Katanga, and in the south, a community with a Chokwe majority. All of these communities can have an influence on the Uruwund spoken by those living on the borders. The Uruwund area is surrounded by the Basalampasu, the Babinji, the Bakete, the Kanyoka, the Balubakat, the Chokwe, and that's not all. The influence of languages established as national languages such as Swahili, Tishiluba of Kasai, and to a lesser extent, Lingala should not be taken lightly. We must protect the core of what remains of Uruwund. This can lead to misunderstandings, especially between generations, and hinder the effective transmission of cultural knowledge embedded in the language. In view of the above, oral tradition is losing its effectiveness. A written reference is needed. A dictionary based on the Uruwund spoken at the seat of the empire, therefore in Musumb, would be an achievement of paramount importance. It will be the reference for all, whether in the context of language teaching itself or, above all, for the development of textbooks in various subjects and for use by the mass media.
The previous step will make it possible to overcome another major challenge, moving from the limited use of Uruwund in formal contexts to the phase of applying this noble language in the development of works in all areas of life. Although it remains the language of everyday life in many Uruwund communities, it is often sidelined in education, administration, and the media.
One man has dedicated years to writing a dictionary and various books on the grammar, conjugation, and spelling of the particular sounds of Uruwund. This man is Chimwish Chisak. He has made a monumental effort to preserve and standardize the Uruwund language, especially with regard to the unique way of writing the words. This is an initiative that we must all encourage. His teachings, given in a virtual school called Uruwund, are highly appreciated by the learners. The name Uruwund was not chosen at random. Indeed, Uruwund in Uruwund means unity. Its objective is to gather the unanimity of all Uruwund to adopt a single reference, which is the dictionary, to write the language correctly and in the same way by all. His work is an essential pillar for language revitalization, providing a valuable resource for future generations.
Chisak Chimwish has launched a virtual school, an inspiring project that aims to transmit the Uruwund language to younger generations. This online school, open to all, offers interactive courses, traditional tales and grammar lessons designed to make learning both engaging and effective. Through technology, Uruwund has broken down some of the most persistent barriers by connecting students from different regions, even different countries. In this increasingly connected world, this virtual school is a beacon of hope for the preservation and revitalization of Uruwund. The initial results are encouraging. Young people are rediscovering their ancestral language with enthusiasm, and elders are finding a new way to pass on their wisdom. It is also an opportunity for them to correct the errors accumulated, particularly in the way Uruwund is written. Online conversation sessions are already allowing the most advanced learners to practice Uruwund in real time, thus weaving a living and intergenerational linguistic community. By bringing Uruwund into the digital age, the Uruwund School is not only preserving a language, it is creating a vibrant bridge between the past and the future. It offers young Uruwund people a strengthened linguistic identity and renewed cultural pride. The Uruwund Virtual School thus becomes much more than just an educational project. It embodies the resilience and determination of a people to protect their heritage, to make the voices of their ancestors resonate in the hearts of future generations. Embark with us on this linguistic and cultural adventure. Together, within the Uruwund School, let us ensure that Uruwund never falls silent, but continues to sing the history and soul of the Uruwund people. There is a glimmer of vital hope for Uruwund. More and more young people in the diaspora want to learn Uruwund. Their parents, long exiled, are showing an interest in correcting the errors acquired since they adopted the writing system put in place by foreigners at the time when they themselves were learning Uruwund. There is also a craze starting in the provinces inhabited by the Lunda in Angola, namely Lunda Norte, Lunda Sul, and Moxico. The same goes for the Zambian provinces with Lunda traditions, not to mention the Lunda of the Congolese province of Bandundu, who are already numerous among the learners. This craze is not a coincidence. It is the consequence of the reunification policy led by Emperor Mushid III, the current Mwantyav. Thanks to his repeated visits to the Lunda residing outside the province of Lualaba in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the awareness for a return to roots is palpable in all communities claiming Lunda belonging. The Lunda established in the big cities of Katanga, Kolwezi, Likasi, and Lubumbashi, gathered within the Diva community, have often given him a welcome worthy of an emperor on the occasion of each of his many visits. Uruwund people belonging to communities settled far from the seat of the empire, and speaking dialects fundamentally different from the Uruwund spoken in Musumb, are now busy learning the original language of their ancestors.